doing some hand jive, hand mime, hand
I was
something?
doing a little play. I was doing a little play with it.
Oh, okay. I was like strike a pose. See, I was going to name an artist. See, if I name the artist, you'll say, what is from the 1950s? So I'm not going to set myself up for you and Christina Duchatellier to talk about
wait,
me.
It's not Madonna?
That's kind of Madonna's mother, way before Madonna's generation. So anyway.
Tell us. Now I'm curious.
I like the Temptations.
Oh, I love the Temptations.
Oh,
what you mean?
Well, you read about them in your history books? You and Miss Duchatellier in your history books? Huh? Is that an old woman's joke?
We actually listen to that music.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to all of our new fans and the continuing fans. We appreciate it as we're entering to our first year. You're cusping into our second year, and the format is changing a little bit. Where Judge Vivian is always thinking, ever evolving. So you'll recognize now we have some wonderful, talent, smart guests on. And like me, we're doing it for free because we really support Judge. I know I'm going to mention money again. For support Judge Vivian's program. And as by the time Judge Vivian gets through, you'll probably see all the 10 Black lawyers in Florida. I'm just joking. The point of the show is she wants to increase the 5%. The only 5% of lawyers in the United States are African-American. And so we are a part of that 5%. So when you see us, please understand you're getting close to seeing watching this show, all the Black lawyers in the state of Florida, because there's not a whole lot of us. But welcome, Miss Christine Duchatellier, okay? And I'm Judge Dawn and Judge Vivian. For all the new fans, I am a former prosecutor, former high school math teacher, and a former judge. I was a prosecutor and a judge, prosecutor for 13 years and a judge for 14 years. And Judge Vivian was one of the attorneys who appeared before me. And when I was getting ready to retire, she asked me to be on her brainchild as the law turns, and I am excited to be here. I'm kind of a stable, and Judge Ms. Duchatellier is one of our welcome guests, and we welcome her. Judge Vivian, anything?
Yes, we are excited. I'm just going to let Christine introduce herself because, you know, she's pretty awesome. I found her through a group that I'm a part of, and I really, really enjoy it. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Christine. We're going to give you the spotlight on it.
Oh,
yeah. Nice. Look at me.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Christine Duchatellier. I am an attorney. I'm based in New York. I practice in trademarks and business law. So I do a lot of trademark filing, copyright, contracts, those kinds of things. Vivian is an amazing attorney as well. Sorry, I have some allergies, so my nose is running a little bit. So I apologize in advance, everyone. But yeah, she's an amazing attorney, and we are a part of a group of attorneys that are trying to build our own business and trademark law firms and service entrepreneurs. And it is amazing because there are so many Black women lawyers in that group as well. And it's actually run by a Black female lawyer. And it's just awesome to learn from each other, to build with each other, to grow with each other. And when she put up the post saying who wants to be on this show, I think I was probably the first person who commented. I was like, yes, me. I'm so excited. I didn't fully read the post. I just said, yes, me. And later on, when I saw people were like posting, I could do February this day, I can do February that day, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to pick a day. But yes, I'm really happy and excited to be here with you both. And I look forward to talking about all the awesome things we have set out to talk about today.
It's amazing, your refreshing attitude. And it's just amazing that you all have a collection of people that look like you, that are standing up and say, pick me, pick me, pick me. Because as the only Black judge in Volusia County for several years, it's kind of lonely there. And so I can imagine the first Black female Supreme Court justice will have the same sort of feeling that you all probably had in law school, being the only one, and in a lot of situations, and still now. and me being the only one in a lot of situations. So, and I said justice because I want the members of the public to understand there's a difference between a judge and a justice. We have justices in every state Supreme Court, and the lower judges positions are called judges. Now, I don't know why justices are justices and judges are judges, but anyway, Supreme Court are justices. So we refer to them as justice. So Biden is slated to pick a Supreme Court justice, but it's not my show. I don't know what Judge Vivian wants to approach first. So bam, bam, bam. Over to you, Judge Vivian.
Oh, we're already there. And I agree. Tonight's topic is about, one of the topics is about Biden's choice to pick a Black woman for Supreme Court justice. Now, for those that don't quite understand what we mean, here's our little bit of law for the day. So Supreme Court justice, as the judge just mentioned, is a different, judgeship than she took on. It is the highest court in the United States of America. So you can't go no higher than that. If you don't get past them, you're fresh out of luck. And so there has never, this is sad, there has never been a Black woman on this post. I don't even think one has been nominated.
I don't think it's ever even been talked about. Forget nominated.
No. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I should have looked that part up. I was too busy looking up opposing views about it. But
don't worry, I'll take it right now.
Yeah. The closest we got was Miss Clarence Thomas. Oops, Mr. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Anyway, that's not a statement about him. Kind of is, but the closest we've gotten to lately, not the only one, lately in our lifetime is Justice Thomas. And unfortunately, he was marred by some political scandal a long time ago. And I'm not going to repeat it and bring fire and life to it because we're talking positive about the first Black Supreme Court justice. But in our lifetime, we did see Justice Clarence Thomas appointed to the Supreme Court and confirmed by the Senate as a justice. And like I said, there was some scandal in his judgeship, if you want. Now, these justices are appointed for life. That means they have to almost slap some Russian empress mama and dog to even think about pulled out of this position. They're there forever. That's why it's so important, this position, because like Judge Vivian said, this is the cream of the crop. This is the highest system in our country. And so it's important that we talk about it, give some acknowledgement to it, give some support to it, and give some criticism of it. But I'm going to turn it over to Judge Vivian and Ms. Christina to see if they have, what's your take on this first Black Supreme Court justice, potentially female?
Is it wrong that I don't think it's going to happen?
Well, Biden is out there now. He said it. He's not that he has anything to lose because he's not running again, and I don't guess. But as president, his vice president, Kamala Harris, he puts in a bad strategic political position if it doesn't happen. And I didn't even think about it's not going to happen. Why? Because it's just too much fodder. It's just too much gossip. It's just too much anger. Just too much. Why do you think it's not going to happen?
Because he's promised quite a few things he hasn't done. I'm going to start there. I think because it has so much opposition as well. So many people are saying dumb things. And I'm going to go ahead and clarify that it's dumb. If you want to come for me, too bad. It's on Twitter. So, you got internet fingers. It won't bother me. I think that too many people are like, why does she have to be Black? Why have we not? I literally saw a commentator, and I'm trying to remember which news thing, because I've been reading so many lately about this particular topic because I was excited about it. I was like, what? Because one guy said, why do we have to particularize her race? And if there hasn't been one qualified before, what's to say there's one qualified now?
Well, oh, okay. Now, I agree with the first part of that statement. Why do we have to particularize our race? I wish Biden would have said, I have the pleasure of appointing a Supreme Court nominee, and just appoint him. Just appoint him. Because now at that position, now you got it because you're Black. And if you don't appoint a Black person, it's going to set all of us ladies back 100 years. We couldn't find a good enough Black female to sit on the Supreme Court. Why do you support a Black? Wow. It'll set, well, mostly you all, because I'm 90 years old and I'm done practicing law. I want this kind of stuff. But it's going to set the plight of Black female lawyers and the respect that we've tried to garner in the last 20 years back 50 years. 50 years. So, Judge Christina, did you see that we have had some nominee or thought of a Black female Supreme Court justice?
Well, I stopped looking.
Okay.
Because all we're just saying your commentary was just very interesting. So I started and I stopped. Yeah. But I did, in preparation for today, I did see that there was someone who made the short list. She's a Supreme Court justice in California. Her name is Leondra Kruger. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. I don't know if any of you have seen that. But before I get to that, I just wanted to highlight that there are a lot of people that have mixed feelings about this because he is specifying that it is a Black woman. Like you said, Judge Dawn, if he just said, I'm nominating a Supreme Court justice and it happened to be a Black woman, then that would have, I think, been better as far as optics as well, because a lot of Black people are sitting here saying, you came into our communities, you asked for our votes, and the things that you said you would do, you're not doing. You went on the radio and said that if you're not Black, if you don't vote for me, and the things that you said, like, my student loans are still here. I'm looking, I checked them all the time. Get the emails, payments are about to start soon, and I see these posts on like Shade Room that say this much debt canceled and none of it is mine. So,
and I'm wondering, Miss Christine, how much we as Black women doubt that we could do it either. I mean, how much does our race support us? How many times has someone opened your office door for a patent attorney and looked at you and said, oh, okay. And inside said, she's a Black girl. Wow.
I've seen it in, I don't see it more so in what I do right now. A lot of my clients are entrepreneurs, and just their way of thinking, they're millennials, their way of thinking, they don't really think that way. But I did see that when I was working in personal injury. I would have clients that were sometimes even from the same country as me or from the Caribbean in general. And they would say, like, you're my lawyer? You're not the paralegal?
Interesting. You said they're a millennium. So the other generations, like I'm 63 years old. My generation would probably say, oh, Black female patent attorney? Okay. Because we didn't do that kind of stuff. We were lawyers. I know. We were teachers and nurses. Every now and then one went to law school, and we were maybe public defenders or community service, legal aid, and we were not patent attorneys like you ladies. So I'm wondering, I'm not diverting, but I'm wondering how much we as a race believe that we can do it, that we can have qualified Black Supreme Court female justice, and she can do the job.
I think there were always people that were qualified for the job. I just think they were overlooked. Just because it is risky, they think that if they appoint someone who is a Black woman, I don't know, they're going to do, it's some of the things that are said when it comes to putting us in places of power are not even, I was going to say borderline irrational, but it is not borderline irrational. It's completely irrational. And we can think, we can read the law, we can interpret the law, and we can apply the law to the situations that are at hand. I mean, when you do go to the Supreme Court, it is your job to uphold the Constitution and, your interpretation of it, how your interpretation of the Constitution, of federal law, applies to whatever case it is that is before you. It's not your job as a Supreme Court justice to go up there and try to, like they say, just make law. That's the job of the Senate, of the House of Representatives. But I don't understand why they think that that's something that we would do and not anybody else that they appoint to the Supreme Court. It's not just us. Everyone, at the end of the day, people do kind of have their political leanings, but what makes a Black woman going to the Supreme Court different from a white male going to the Supreme Court as far as what they are there to do? Who's to say that this white justice is not going to do something that is irrational, do something that makes no sense, do something that takes us back hundreds and hundreds of years, and no one thinks about that.
I'll answer your question. I like what you said. You said Black female justices, judges, lawyers can read the law, interpret the law, and apply law to the facts. That's what all lawyers and judges do. However, if I read the law, interpret the law, my interpretation as a Black female is different from you, Midwestern white male. So maybe that's the fear, how you interpret the law based on your Haitian background, preacher's kid background, child of the 60s. How I would interpret is a little bit different. It's not that, I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but it's not that black and white. How I interpret it is different than you interpret it because you're younger than me. You have different experience. I think the confession was freely and voluntarily made based on my background. You don't. White judge says yes. Black judge says no. So that's the fear. I think that's always the fear of diversity, that you're going to be something different that makes me uncomfortable. That makes me uncomfortable.
And, diversity of thought and diversity of opinion, I think, benefits whatever environment that you place that person in. So, the fear that is there, yes, there is fear, but, I just think it's an excuse. That's pretty much my.
You think the climate is right for a Black female Supreme Court justice? Kamala Harris, Biden, Trump. You think the climate is right for her to succeed? Is this the time?
I think it's as good as it's gonna get. I think more people are coming toward the idea of supportive culture now, especially post-COVID, because so many deaths happened. I think people's minds were now starting to be like, oh crap, we could all die one day. I'm not trying to be funny, but I think that's what happened. And I think they was like, let me reach out to my friend. Let me go reach out to my sister. So I think that kind of collective reaching out has happened. And I do largely believe it is because of COVID. And so I'm thinking that because of that, and then the fact that able to put more things out to the public again. Let's face it, one of the biggest things that Martin Luther King had when he was doing all these marches was putting out things into the public outside of the United States. George Floyd during the COVID, because COVID had us all inside, we couldn't do nothing but glued to our phones, kind of woke up the global atmosphere. So I think at this particular junction, we're probably the best we're going to get. But do I still not trust Biden's words? He has not been consistent, and say what you will, he hasn't done many of the big things that he said he was going to do. I honestly don't, and I hate saying it as a Black girl, but I don't think I trust Kamala to do it. I just believe that we are in a different atmosphere for it, though. That's my thought.
Well, Miss Kamala is in a bad position because so new in this power position, we don't know how to act and what to do. As female lawyers and judges, we really don't have any role models. So when you're kind of the first out there in the box, you don't know what to do. And you're still kind of afraid and timid. As much as we want to say, I am woman, hear me roar, I can read the facts and I can interpret and apply we're still a little bit, I hope everybody accepts me. I hope I'm doing the right thing. White men don't think that way. I don't think. I think they just, whatever. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, I'm Trump. What if I'm wrong? I'm wrong. I'm Biden. Whatever. I think we're still a little bit timid because this still, we're in the first 50 years of us being lawyers and doctors and Indian chiefs and head of Xerox and IBM. We're and all television shows, and Whoopi Goldberg has The View, and we really still don't know. And so if Kamala is a little bit afraid, okay, and she is the VP. She's not the person in charge. So I have to take up for my sorority sister. So a little bit.
Like I said, I respect the position she's gotten to, but I'm gonna let you stay with that. However, we got another topic to talk about tonight. Pivot.
I just want to say hey to my soror who's on the call because I didn't know that.
Oh, you're a soror too?
Yes, hey.
Soror, skidaway.
Don't make me ski in these people's office.
Okay, we'll keep it on the down low.
So, guys, so we are moving to our second topic. Although I really wanted to do more on the last topic, but we told you we had to, and we're coming up on time. So tonight we also wanted to talk about the doping scandal. And yes, I'm calling it that. And no, I'm not concerned. I'm gonna be honest. I'm being a little mean about it. Why? Because I'm a little mad. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce her name right. The girl that's a skater that's in the Olympics, because that's how they would do us if it was a black person. Girl that's in the Olympics that tested positive for it. We're calling it a doping scandal. That's exactly what I'm calling it, because she was supposed to have this particular drug in her system. She did have this drug. This is a drug that is considered banned by the Olympics. It was found in her system, and they overturned the decision to suspend her and decided to allow her to skate. As of today or yesterday, I was reading up on it again. She placed fourth. Yeah. You know what makes this even more funny? The article that I read that she placed fourth says, "Oh, all our hopes and dreams are dashed as an upset as she places fourth." I was like, she shouldn't have been in it in the first place. So I can keep flying kites.
She's 15.
She shouldn't have been in it.
She's a child relying on the big people to direct her. I'm just the skater. I'm gonna take her as skater and stuff. Y'all, do what you have to do. I'm 15. I've lived 15 years. I'm in 10th grade.
She's not dumb. Period. So unless she that, I don't care. Almost every single athlete has been disbarred, stripped of their medals, and or not allowed. Carri Richardson is one. Didn't even get allowed to go to the Olympics because she tested positive.
Carri was 21. She was 21. She grown.
Yeah, but if we want to say young and dumb, we know that cognitive function is still going on at 21. So if we want to go down to the whole cognitive function ideal, but let's go back to a couple swimmers, because if I'm not mistaken, Lochte and Phelps were actually about 17 or so when they got stripped of their medals for testing. So she's not the first that's been stripped. Mind you, I'm on the fence about this being a race issue, because so many other athletes have been set down regardless of race. And that's what I think bothers me the most. It's not just in this particular instance. I do somewhat agree with Sha'Carri that it may have some racial backgrounding. I think because marijuana in and of itself is considered worse to a lot of people, and a lot more Black people are more known for marijuana. Let's face it. Yeah. So I do think it has some, but I don't think that she still should have been able to, and I don't think they should have been upset that she didn't place either. She shouldn't have skated. She should have realized what happened. That's the consequences that happen. That when things go wrong, and the earlier you learn that, sometimes the better off you're going to be. If you keep thinking you can get out of stuff simply because you can.
But it's so difficult to have hard and fast rules to apply for anything. And you and I, all of us, Miss Christine too, have been in bond hearings, motions suppressed, moot court arguments, and say, "Oh, why is she? Why? How?" And there's some nuances that makes that person get treated differently. Sometimes it's race, sometimes it's age, sometimes it's real justifiable stuff. I'm treating this skater differently because it was Tadada, which is a drug for the heart, and 6 weeks to trace it, as opposed to Shakira smoking marijuana a week ago.
Hold on. Mind you, this drug also is considered by the athletic community as an enhancement drug for athletes to do better.
Yes, for endurance purposes.
That is yeah.
And for me, I mean,
I'm sorry, keep going.
Oh, sure. So, and for me, you know, I don't know if is marijuana going to enhance. So that's
yeah, that's true. Now that's true. It's marijuana. Oh, was that a gun? Oh, huh? Well, that's true. That's true. Without a starting pistol, I think I heard.
I've known it to slow most people down.
That's gonna make you want to run more quickly, smoking some. But, you know, whatever, they defended her for it, and I think that she is right. Her frustration and her being upset about the situation is justifiable. They're talking about extenuating circumstances, and she just lost her mother. She was stressed out. Maybe she should not have smoked some weed. But they're saying this girl, she's 15, and it's a heart drug. She has heart problems. But the thing is, as an athlete, that this is a banned substance. And, let's call it what it is. Her country, the country that she is from, is Russia. And Russia is still under some sort of anti-doping penalty because they are known for having their athletes partake in some of these drugs that do enhance performance. So I think that should be considered as well, because you just really, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I saw it and I was surprised. And I was even more surprised that with Shakari, I keep thinking of the video where she says her name. Like it's Shakari.
You're right.
Yes, I think you should know the rules to answer the reader's question, the listener's question. Cinda Williams, do you think if you're in a competition, you should know the rules? I do, but yes. But at 15 or 16 or 17 or 18, 19, 21, I really rely on a lot of other people to tell me stuff. For example, if I'm running a courtroom, they're running a patent office. Attorney Williams are running a patent office. You kind of rely on other people to say that we got it. We got it. You can't do everything. You can't control everything. I can't practice skating 12 hours a day and do my nutrition and drugs and that. I can't do all of that. So I have a team, Oprah, the president, Kamala Harris. I have a team that I rely on to tell me things. And I say, okay, I can't fact check everything. I just can't. Should I know the rules? Yes. Should I be responsible? Nah, I don't know. Yes. Okay, I'm rallying there.
So if the SEC comes after my company, but it wasn't me, they shouldn't come after my company? Because that's what it still is the consequence of the leader. And face it or not, she's 15, but she's the quote unquote leader because she's the face. She's the person that gets out there and does it. Should her team have maybe been better? I don't know. I can't say that. I don't know how the mix-up happened because they're alleging that it was a mix-up between her grandfather's heart pills. But I'm with Christine. If you're going to take extenuating circumstances, take them all. For instance, Shakari, when she found out about her mother's death, was at an interview, and the guy who told her was a random dude. She wasn't just there. It didn't just say, oh, my mom died, I decided to smoke. It was a bunch of circumstances around. She found out publicly that her mom had died. She didn't find out in a call where your friend set you down and said, oh, my God, your mom passed. Let's have this moment. She was in the middle of a competitive interview when the guy just blurted it out to her.
Yeah, but if I start making exceptions for marijuana, which I know is a street drug. I said, "An enhancement." I'm not even going to go with the exception. You know marijuana. You know what it is. Most cases are illegal drugs. Not only are you breaking the law, you're not going to have that in your system and compete. You're just not, for whatever reason.
But if we're making exceptions, I make it in this instance. It's the same thing. She used a drug that not only is a drug that's banned, it's banned. We know you just said marijuana's banned, but so is this drug to the Olympics.
Attorney Brown makes a good point. She not used, she ingested, or she had in her system. I didn't necessarily use it. I'm 15 years old. I rely on people to fix me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I just go out there and skate. They have my uniform and my tights and my bra, whatever. I'm skating. I'm training. I'm doing push-ups. The coach says, drink this. Okay. Tested positive for what? I don't even know what that drug is.
Most high schoolers are still banned. Even most high schoolers are still banned from their playing. So you mean to tell me this not going to go to the Olympic level where we know we competing against other countries that may or may not be mad at us later because we doped to get where we were?
And you know what,
Attorney Brown? I'm sorry, Christine.
Here's the thing. Have a team, and your team also knows the rules. Why would they put you in that position as the athlete? Why? For what?
Well, I'm the coach and saying the doctor's saying this is going to be out of the system in 3 days. She's going to be tested in 5 days. It'll be out of the system. And well, she does have a little heart issue. So the coach says, okay, athlete, drink this.
It's not her though. It's her grandfather. It's not her. She is not reported to have a heart issue. The medication,
she said the medicine might have gotten mixed up in something else.
There was an article that said something about heart issues. I did come across one, and I don't know if that was just put out there just to put it out there, but I did see something that kind of alluded to her potentially having some sort of issue as well.
Okay.
But I want to leave with this thought. I don't like hard, fast rules. It's no place in law. I shouldn't say that. It's no place in disciplining children. It's no place in, I hate to say contracts because we're all lawyers. We have to rely on something. It's no place in politics. Once you say a hard, fast, bright line rule, it leads to destruction. There has to be, but for, notwithstanding, it has to be.
I'm a fan of consistency. You're going to drop one, drop them all.
Okay.
That's really my problem with it. I'm a fan of consistency. If you're going to knock out one person for doping, if I'm not mistaken, Maria Sharapova, who's a tennis player, because I love tennis, Serena and Venus are my was knocked out for a similar drug. She is older, mind you, I admit that part. But she was knocked out, and it was also circumstances were found that there may or may not have been some intentional things from her part. It was more so her team as well. So it kind of just in a way, is it excuses, or are we just going to say yay or nay? And once again, that brings us back to the conversation of, are we picking and choosing the drugs that are already banned simply because of who they are? Or are we simply picking and choosing these drugs simply because, as you even just stated, people care more about marijuana? Is that fair? It's a banned drug, period. Not who cares the most about what. On top of the fact that if you even think about it from this perspective, what about the other countries who are now upset because their players didn't have this enhancement drug in their system, who didn't place fourth?
Well, I just don't like any hard, fast, or anything, any law. I mean, we have defenses of everything that happens. The umbrella that I picked up, it was a mistake. I didn't have the mens rea. I don't like hard, fast. And I like Attorney Brown's comments because she represented athletes. She represents athletes. She says it happens all the time. Unscrupulous coaches who want to win at any cost will dope their athletes, hoping it goes undetected. Sad state. Sad state.
I think if more punishment would happen, we probably have less thinking that they should be able to do that.
What'd you say, Ms. Christine?
And I agree with Judge Vivian. If these coaches were punished, then I think we could have games, Olympic games, competitions, international competitions that are fair. it doesn't, although I understand the athlete might not know that there are drugs in their shakes or they've ingested a particular drug that is banned, but, you know, why should they still be able to compete? It's in their system. You know, they do have that performance enhancing drug in their system, and now the playing field is no longer level. Now you're competing and you have.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Regardless of how it got in there, that's a good point. Regardless of how it got in there, the playing field is not level. Not necessarily I'm punishing the athlete. I'm just respecting the sport or the nature of competition. I like that.
That's why I think that in this situation, when it comes to sports, you want to make sure that you have a rule that says the rule be bright line. It can't be, well, there's an exception because the coach did it, because I'll just take the coach gave it to me and I didn't know what it was. You know, I was smart.
These are not my pants. How did this marijuana get in my pants? Just doing it, I heard that 1,000 times.
Like, no, I heard that.
That's your bag. No, that's not my bag.
That's not my bag.
Or my client who had a twin when he stole something on camera. So all of a sudden he developed a twin. But I
don't believe the three of us have now come to a consensus. We're respecting the sport. That I will retreat what I just said. There, I understand and respect our hardcore bright line rule. If the purpose of the competitions or lack of the drugs is to equal the playing field, enhancement, however you get it, is against the true nature of the sport.
Agree. And a lot of former competitors, a lot of former medalists are really upset because they're like, I worked for this. I didn't have any enhancement in my system. I didn't have any of these things. But Christine made me think of a good point when she was saying it. I'm not aware of this, and maybe Attorney Pam Brown is on with us. Maybe she knows. Pray tell, do they actually get the coaches and the team? I'm curious because I'm thinking that may be helpful too if they start being like, okay, coaches, you're getting a salary cut, you're paying a fine, you can't coach them for a certain amount of time, you losing your coaching license. I don't know, something. I'm trying to come. I don't know about that. Oh, she wrote us another paragraph. Okay, the problem is the athletes are the ones who are punished. And really, here it is. Really, the coaches, which is why the coaches practice. So I agree. You have to be consistent in penalties for illegal drug enhancements, no matter how it's initiated, student or coach. Okay, so no. So maybe that's the catch. Start getting these coaches for being unscrupulous. You know, as you just said, the coaches are generally older. They know what they're doing. They know what's happening for the most part. Now, I understand mix-ups, but for the most part, they should be on top of this stuff. I like that.
I like that. I think we're agreeing all that stuff. And if you didn't have a hand in it, coach, it everything should be in your power. You are the ultimate responsibility for your athletes. I guess I don't know about the coaching thing, but you don't own the athletes, but you are the ultimate person responsible for what's going on your team.
How do you control in all of these countries who is allowed to coach who? I think it just may even be why can't I speak? It's so late. To try to say, you can't coach anymore. I don't know how other countries work. But if I call you and say like, hey, Judge Vivian, I want you to be my coach, or is there something, if they do start, I don't know, I guess it just has to start high level and kind of trickle down. These people are registered coaches, but I guess someone can still be an unofficial coach on the low.
Well, I guess if you're not a winning team and nothing's happening, you get unsponsored because somebody has to pay your salary. The countries or the airlines or soft drink company or tennis shoes company, somebody's supporting these athletes and coaches. I guess if you're not producing winners, you get fired, you get disbanded, you get reprimanded, you don't get supported.
That's true. That actually happens. They fired like 3 Jaguars coaches because the Jaguars can't win a game to save their life. But love you, Jaguars. For those that are watching.
Oh, ladies, it's coming to.
No!
I'm loving it. I was hoping could go for the rest of the
Well, we just have to respect our time so people can tune in every week and know that we're going to be on from 7 to 7:30 to 3, 4 like this, and they can set their clocks to us and have their dinner ready on the table. And I appreciate everybody who's tuned in, and just Christine, invaluable comments. I mean, Judge Vivian and I usually ended up black, white, off, on, green, red, and opposing each other, loving each other and opposing each other. And you got that harmonious tie that kumbaya us all together.
That's because she don't listen to me. That's because she put in her head, she was like, no, she's talking about, I'm joking. So yes,
Candace Pollock said, Just Vivian.
Oh, we got some more. Oh, wait.
Yes.
Hey, y'all, we trying to be good. Okay, fun hearing your different perspectives on how you reach a quasi consensus. It is a quasi. Thank you, Candace.
A quasi, yes, thank you. Thank you.
Ever. She just thinks that, she goes against me all the time. I'm joking.
All the time. I thank all of our fans, of the new fans, and I hope Judge Christine is a fan. And Judge Christine, if you ever anywhere near Florida and you need us for anything, please let us know. Neither one of us can cook, but we can definitely take you out to dinner. Judge Vivian, stop. That.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
See what I mean? Yeah. She don't believe me.
I also say, so if you're ever there,
I don't like doing it.
Yes.
Thanks guys for joining us. Follow us on YouTube as you see, like and share us on Facebook. For those who are saying that they like us, I often say, yes, I'm a little sassy with it. Then share us. Stop holding this on to yourself. We good. So thank you guys for being
here. Thanks for coming, Judge
so
Christine. We appreciate it. Thank you.
And every time you call me up, I'm like, oh, okay.
Thank you. Good show, Judge Vivian. Good show.
We will see you guys next Thursday. Bye.